The first year of university and computer science can seem very daunting. You've most likely come straight from high school or a gap year, and now you're going to be in a whole new phase of life, but don't worry. Today, I'll be sharing some helpful tips and advice for upcoming first-year computer science students who are attending universities in South Africa. By the way, many of these tips are general and apply to students in other fields, so be sure to stick around. Now before I do anything, I'll share my background. I am Azam. I'm currently studying computer science at the University of Cape Town through the science faculty. So, I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Science. I am now heading into my second year of computer science, and I've recently made a big decision to change my second major from computer engineering to business computing. So, before university even starts, there's something called the Orientation Week, which I highly recommend you go to. This is where you are introduced to the campus, the infrastructure, the buildings. You'll meet a few lecturers, course conveners, student advisors of your specific faculty, the essentials to know about, and to help you navigate through campus. Now, if you have the time, try to start watching like a few videos on programming. You don't have to go into those, learn this in 12 hours, in 24 hours, maybe just like simple overviews of a programming language, maybe read through a few websites. It can save you some time in the start of the semester, where you just get introduced to programming and the Python language. The first thing that I recommend once university and campus starts is take the time to plan your schedule once you get it off course. There are about 60 lecture days in a semester, which spans roughly 3 to 4 months. Time flies by very fast. This is a lot shorter than high school, where you start the year in January, end the year in December, so you'll need to keep a constant pace with your work. Something that could help would be buying a small calendar or a small book where you just jot down your goals at the start of your day, planning on arriving early to your lecture at 8 a.m., going to the library at 10 a.m., getting certain tasks done, your web assignments, completing this quiz, and then getting lunch at 12 p.m. Start with something simple and branch off from there. Now, you won't only be studying computer science as a computer science major. Every computer science student has to take a math course as well. There's an easy math course and a difficult math course. The difficult course opens up a lot more doors for you, but you'll get to this during the orientation week. There's a certain number of credits that you'll have to meet at the end of the degree. So depending on your chosen majors, you might need to take an elective, which is a course unrelated to your major, but necessary to fulfill the credit requirements. Don't expect to learn everything in the classroom. The lectures won't always teach you everything that's needed in the course content. They are typically 45 minutes, while the lecture videos can range from being 10 to 40 minutes in total. Lectures on university are shorter than our lessons that we had back in high school. There's only so much that can be taught in that limited time. You will probably need to spend some time after lectures to just review the slides and make sure that you read through the information that might not have been touched on in class. Sitting and listening in a classroom also isn't the best way to learn programming or computer science in general, which is why I also suggest that you practice. You will need to practice outside of the lectures if you are a beginner. Learning programming is basically learning a new language. You'll be talking to the computer, giving it instructions to execute certain tasks. You'll get angry and want to punch the monitor because you're 10 minutes away from a deadline and Automarket just stopped work. For the majority of us, just reading the lecture notes or watching the videos won't be enough. So I would heavily recommend spending some time after classes just tinkering around in the Python editor. Looking through websites like W3 Schools could be helpful to complete quick revision if the lecture slides weren't enough, even if it's just 10 to 30 minutes per day during the week. Some practice is better than none. Surrender your ego and pride now. Those high 80s and 90s that you were getting in high school, don't expect to get them right at the start. You should still aim for the stars, but don't expect to take off on your first try. The first semester is really the period where you are adjusting to a new phase of life, to academics, to your environment. So don't be too hard on yourself when you're not getting the same marks that you were getting in high school. For computer science students, you'll be thrown to the ground multiple times by the weekly assignments, tests, and even the quizzes, which weigh very little. In your classes, you'll meet some people who've maybe been programming for more than 5 years and are writing their own game engine. But everyone is different, so don't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy and brings no benefit to your well-being. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Asking questions is very vital. If you aren't questioning something in your lectures or lecture videos, then there's a high chance that you're off track in this degree. Or maybe you are a super genius, I don't know. So don't be afraid to ask the lecturers or tutors any questions. There's a big chance that you won't be the only one with that same question. So bite the bullet and ask the lecturer, what the hell will recursion or gain aura points or whatever you guys call it nowadays. You can also ask questions elsewhere, maybe on the WhatsApp group chat, even on online forums such as a Reddit, Discord, or the YouTube comments, and ChatGPT, which leads to the next point. How do you use AI with your studies? Well, you should use it as a learning tool. Don't ask for ChatGPT or Claude or DeepSeek to write all of your code. You will get a fat zero. UCT has the tools to detect whether you wrote your own code or someone or something else wrote it, and it's not worth risking your degree. Rather ask certain concepts, maybe also ask it to give code examples, but don't straight up copy and paste. For example, I asked ChatGPT to explain what a linked list is and to give a code snippet of how it's implemented in Java. Now, before copying anything, make sure to read the code and try to understand what's happening. Break it down and think about why it's written like this. And if AI isn't useful, trust me, there'll be times when it isn't. Then there are so many online resources on websites like Stack Overflow, Geeks for Geeks, Reddit, Discord, and don't forget, there's a WhatsApp group chat. Just don't flood it with the same questions, please. And last but importantly, you are not alone. There are about 1,000 students in the first semester of computer science, and even 600 to 800 in the second semester. So whatever problems you may be having, it's very likely that someone else will be having them as well. Even outside of computer science with math or your electives, you will not be alone. So, take the risk. Sit next to random people inside and outside of your lectures. Chat to them, ask them how their day was, ask them how did they find the lecture. Simply being campus friends can go a long way. Alright, that's all the tips and advice that I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and for watching the video. I'll be sure to make some more content like this in the future, maybe throughout the semester, towards exams, and any other suggestions that you guys want. I wish all the new first years and returning students all the best with their year. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys.